Hey there! I'm sure you've heard about 4-chord songs. In theory, these should be really simple to play because they only consist of 4 chords. But actually, they can be pretty intimidating, especially for beginners. This is why we're teaching you the easier version of these 4 chords, and you only need 2 fingers to play them. After this video, you'll be able to play thousands of songs. And if you stick around till the end, we'll show you a bonus tip. Let's get started. The first chord you will learn is E minor. It's the easiest common chord, and it just so happens to be played with only 2 fingers. This is how you play it. Pick the open low E string. Open means without fretting a string. Place your index finger at the 2nd fret on the A string. Now pick it. Place your middle finger at the 2nd fret on the D string. Now pick it. The last 3 strings are open, so you don't fret any of these strings. Pick the open G string. Make sure it's not muted by your middle finger. Pick the open B string. Pick the open E string. Now strum all 6 strings for the E minor chord. The second chord is called C major 7. You can often use it in place of the regular C chord, which means you can use it in a lot of songs. Let's see how it's played. Put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string and pick it. Now put the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and pick it. The rest of the strings are played open: G, B, and high E. Strum all strings except a low E string for the C major 7 chord. Great! Only 2 more chords to go. The next chord is called G6. You can use it as a substitute for the regular G chord. Let's see how this one works. Put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Now pick it. Now place the middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. The rest of the strings are played open. That means without fretting: D, G, B, and high E. Now strum all strings for the G6 chord. Awesome! If you're curious how to practice chord changes, you'll find more exercises in the Fretello app. But let's find out about that final chord. The final chord is called D sus2. Now maybe you already guessed it. You can use this chord as a substitute for the D major chord. But you can also use it as a substitute for the D minor chord because of how similar they sound. To play the D sus2 chord, you pick the open D string. Put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string and pick it. Put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string and pick it. Last but not least, pick the open high E string. Finally, strum the whole chord. Try to avoid the lower 2 strings. Great! Now you know 4 2-finger chords. To unlock hundreds of songs to play, you only have to learn this chord progression: E minor, C major 7, G6, and D sus2. Let's learn the first chord change, from E minor to C major 7. To change quickly, try to leave your middle finger in place and only move your ring finger. Also remember to hold your fingers at right angles to the fretboard so you don't dampen any strings by accident. It's not so hard, but if you're struggling, practice makes perfect. Here's a simple exercise for you. Strum the E minor and let it ring for 4 beats. Strum the C major 7, let it ring for 4 beats as well, and repeat. It's perfectly okay to reposition your fingers already a little bit before the 4 beats are over. Like this, you're safe strumming the next chord at the right time. The next chord change is from C major 7 to G6. Try to fret simultaneously when changing. Try it with the same method as before, strumming the C major 7 and let it ring for 4 beats before changing to the G6 chord. Over time, you can increase the amount of strums or the tempo. Amazing! There's only one change left for the final chord progression. It's the change from G6 to D sus2. It's not hard at all. Remember to change with all fingers simultaneously. It'll make the chord change quicker and smoother. Again, try to increase the strums until you play one chord on each beat. Great! Now let's combine the chord changes for the final chord progression. It goes from E minor to C major 7 to G6 to D sus2. Let's practice it together. Start like you did with the chord changes before by strumming each chord once and letting it ring for 4 beats. Let's speed it up a bit by strumming every chord 4 times evenly, like this. That was great. With a little bit of practice, you'll be able to unlock hundreds of songs to play. Now here comes the little bonus. To spice up the rhythm of your chord progression, I'm going to show you a new strumming pattern. Don't worry if you don't nail it on the first try. That's normal and practicing helps. Instead of strumming only downwards on every beat, you also strum upwards after the first 2 beats. Let's try that with just an E minor. Cool! Do you think you can add the chord progression to this pattern? Amazing! That's how fast you can learn 4 chords and your first advanced strumming pattern. Now you know all the chords you need to play hundreds of songs. And if you want to practice with feedback and many more exercises, check out the app. There, you'll find some 4-chord songs you can play with the 2-finger chords you just learned. If you learned something in this video, give it a like and subscribe for more quick guitar lessons. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll get around to them. See ya!